Have you ever wondered about the authenticity of information that floods your social media feed every day? In our digital age, this question has never been more relevant. With the rise of social media platforms, the spread of information has become a double-edged sword. On one hand, we've seen an unprecedented democratization of knowledge, with people across the globe gaining access to information at a pace unimaginable in the past. On the other hand, the same platforms have become fertile ground for the spread of misinformation. Misinformation, often wrapped in appealing packages, can spread like wildfire, with the potential to shape public opinion, sway elections, and even incite violence. It's a phenomenon that has grown exponentially in recent years, from deepfake videos that convincingly mimic real people to false news stories that stir up fear and hatred. The landscape of misinformation is vast and continually evolving. The consequences of this flood of falsehoods can be dire. We've seen communities torn apart, public health initiatives derailed, and trust in institutions eroded. The speed and reach of social media can amplify these effects, making misinformation a significant challenge to our society. In response to this growing threat, many social media platforms have taken steps to combat the spread of misinformation. But the challenge is immense. Every day, billions of pieces of content are shared across these platforms, making it nearly impossible to catch every piece of misleading content. In the face of this daunting task, one social media giant, Meta, has decided to take action. Recognizing the urgent need to curb the spread of misinformation on its platform, Meta has embarked on an ambitious initiative to integrate fact-checking directly into the fabric of its social media experience. This growing concern has prompted Meta to take action. In the next few scenes, we'll delve deeper into Meta's initiative, the challenges it faces, and the impact it hopes to make in the fight against misinformation. So stick around as we navigate the complex world of social media fact-checking. In response to the misinformation crisis, Meta announced its fact-checking initiative. This move came as a response to the rising concerns of users who have been witnessing the effects of misinformation on the social media landscape. Meta, as a leading player in the social media arena, recognizes its responsibility and is taking steps to tackle this issue head-on. The fact-checking initiative is part of a concerted effort by Meta to work with external organizations that specialize in fact-checking. These organizations are tasked with assessing and ranking deceptive content on Meta's platform, Threads. This is a significant step toward combating the spread of misleading material on the platform. But it's not as simple as it sounds. As of early 2024, Meta's plan was to have its fact-checking partners directly assess and rank deceptive content on Threads. However, this direct fact-checking feature is still under development. For now, Meta is able to link fact checks to related content on Threads. Instead of direct fact-checking, Threads displays match scores for false material, essentially acting as a stopgap measure until the full fact-checking capabilities are rolled out. Meta acknowledges this transitional phase and assures that the direct rating feature for fact-checkers on Threads is on the horizon. In the interim, users of Threads have noticed warning flags attached to posts. These warnings, which include an interstitial overlaying false AI-generated videos and a pop-up message at the bottom of the screen, clearly label content as false information. This is based on assessments made by fact-checkers elsewhere on the platform, with the warning also providing information about the fact-checking source's definitive conclusions. A noteworthy example of this fact-checking initiative in action is a video that circulated in Telegram chats, allegedly from a France 24 broadcast. Fact-checkers verified that the video was AI-generated and had never been produced or aired. This kind of misinformation is exactly what Meta's initiative is designed to combat. However, the integration of fact-checking into Threads is still in the works. While we wait for the full rollout of this feature, Meta is making strides to ensure that the spread of misinformation is kept in check. While Meta's direct fact-checking system is not fully operational, they have found a way to keep misinformation in check. Let's talk about Threads, Meta's platform that's been making waves lately. You see, Threads is in a transitional stage. It's like a teenager still growing, still figuring out its place in the world. Right now, it doesn't have the full capability to directly assess and rank deceptive content. Instead, it uses a match scoring system to connect fact checks to related content. So while it can't directly say, hey, this is false, it can say, hey, this looks a lot like that false thing over there. But here's the thing, even in this in-between phase, Threads is not just sitting around, it's actively implementing measures to alert users to potential misinformation. Users have started seeing warning labels popping up on posts. Picture this, you're scrolling through a thread, and suddenly there's a warning flag on a post. It's like a neon sign in a dim alleyway, hard to miss. These warnings aren't vague or ambiguous. They clearly label the content as false information. The warning even goes a step further to say that the content has been disproven according to assessments made by fact-checkers elsewhere. And it doesn't stop there. The warning also includes information regarding the definitive conclusions made by the fact-checking sources. It's like Threads is saying, not only is this false, but here's the proof. For instance, a video circulated in Telegram chats, alleged to be from a France 24 broadcast, was flagged on Threads. Fact-checking organizations verified that the video was artificial intelligence generated and was never actually produced or aired. Threads is also setting itself apart from other platforms where fact-checking primarily depends on user interaction. While it waits for complete integration of direct fact-checking, it's using a different strategy. It's not posting political content or promoting news content, a move in line with Meta's cautious approach to misinformation. Despite the ongoing development, users have noticed some changes on Threads. And these changes are just the beginning. As Threads continues to grow and evolve, we can only expect its fact-checking capabilities to become more robust and reliable. Now, isn't that something to look forward to? Threads users have started to see warning labels on posts indicating false information. This unexpected addition to the user interface has sparked curiosity and conversation. Is it an annoyance? A relief? The reactions are as diverse as the Threads community itself. Some users feel a sense of assurance, appreciating the commitment to truth and accuracy. They've noticed these warning flags on posts that are misleading or completely false, including those clever AI-generated videos that can be so convincingly real. These users are all too aware of the power of misinformation, and they welcome these fact-checking labels as a guard against deception. Take, for instance, a video that had been circulating in Telegram chats claiming to be a France 24 broadcast. Threads users found a warning label on this post, clearly marking it as false information. The label explained that the video was not a legitimate broadcast but an AI-generated fabrication. This transparency not only debunked the video, but also educated users on the reality of AI-generated content. On the other hand, some users are skeptical. They question the sources of the fact-checking and express concerns about potential bias. They wonder who gets to decide what's true and what's not, and whether this system could be used to suppress certain viewpoints. These users are keeping a keen eye on the implementation of this initiative, ready to challenge any perceived misuse of power. And then there are those who are simply confused. They've seen pop-up messages at the bottom of their screens, warning them about false information, and they're not sure what to make of it. They're still getting used to this new feature and figuring out how it impacts their Threads experience. Despite the varied reactions, one thing is clear. These warning labels have got people talking. They're prompting discussions about truth, misinformation, and the role of social media in our modern world. And that's exactly the conversation that needs to happen. These warning labels are just the beginning. Meta's fact-checking initiative has set a new standard in the fight against misinformation. Bursting onto the scene with a bold strategy, Meta has aimed to strike a delicate balance, combating misinformation while preserving user experience and eschewing political polarization. This approach, though still in its early stages, has set the stage for a new era in social media. Meta's approach is unique. Unlike other platforms that rely heavily on user interaction for fact-checking, Meta has taken a more proactive stance. It's not just about flagging false information, it's about giving users the right context, the source of the fact-check, and the definitive conclusions drawn. This comprehensive approach has the potential to significantly reduce the spread of misinformation. And what's more, Meta's strategy is not just about what it does, but also about what it doesn't do. Unlike other platforms, Meta has made a conscious decision not to actively post political content on Instagram and Threads. This aligns with Meta's cautious approach to disinformation, ensuring that the platform does not become a hotbed for politically charged misinformation. But it's not all smooth sailing. The road to a misinformation-free social media world is fraught with challenges. For instance, despite Meta's careful approach, Threads' Today's Topics trends section may still include news and political topics. This raises questions about how Meta will manage the delicate task of fact-checking such content without being seen as biased or influencing public opinion. The future, however, looks promising. By early 2024, Meta plans to fully integrate direct fact-checking on Threads, taking another big step in the fight against misinformation. This will involve fact-checking partners, assessing and ranking deceptive content directly on Threads, providing a more robust mechanism to curb misinformation. With this initiative, Meta is taking a firm stand against misinformation, creating a safer and more reliable social media environment. As we move forward, it will be interesting to see how this initiative unfolds and how it shapes the social media landscape. In the fight against misinformation, every step counts, and Meta's fact-checking initiative is a step in the right direction.